What's going on, everybody? It's your boy M.I.C back in the building with yet another YouTube video. And today we're going to be continuing our quick learning a character series. And today it's going to be focused on Kuma, who just dropped a trailer not too long ago, maybe about last week. A lot of people were asking, hey, I'm interested in Kuma. He got them electrics now. I want to play him probably or try him out in Tekken 8. So I said, well, why not let me go ahead and show you all how to get a jump start on them here in Tekken 7. So when you go into Tekken 8, you can kind of already have a fundamental basis of how to play with the character. Now, this character, unlike a lot of other characters, doesn't have access to all the same kind of tools that we're accustomed to using with our other characters. In fact, this character is more of a high risk, high reward character. And does not really have a lot of access to things like safe pokes or fast, quick safe pokes. In fact, as we go through, you'll see that it has a lot of deficiencies, which is why it is kind of considered a joke character. But with all that being said, let's jump right into it. All right, so the first thing we're going to kind of look at is, does he have a plus frame jab? Now, his standard one is 11 frames and is 0 on block. He has a 2, but that is -1 on block. But he has a forward one, which is 10 frames, and that forward one is the plus frame attack. So while he has forward 1-1, forward 1-1 is not a guaranteed string. So if we look back, we check it over here, you can see that 1-1 does not lead to a guaranteed string. So that's something that we're going to have to keep in mind when we're playing with this character, that if we want frame advantage, we need to do forward 1 in order to gain frame advantage. Now, if we look at how does this character work as far as standard tools, like does it have a down 1, which it does, a low jab, standard down 1. Does it have a standard low kick? It does have a standard low kick, except for the low kick is 16 frames. But the good thing about this low kick, while it's slower, it does give plus frames on hit. So unlike a lot of different moves, this will be giving us plus frames when we happen to go up underneath a jab or go up underneath some high attack. So that's not what normally happens. Also, this move is only I believe it is only -9 on block, so it is actually a safe low move. So that is one of the things that Kuma has going for him. Like I said, Kuma is very special in that regard. Now, when we try to find like a mid that we can use to kind of work our offense around, really the only quick mid that Kuma has is down forward 4. But while it is +7 on hit, down forward 4 on block is -4, right? So you can't really use this and really combat the opponent, because they can then do like a 13 frame mid and you really can't attack back with anything that doesn't have armor, or you would have to kind of use spacing, or you'd have to just block, maybe possibly step. So that's kind of one of the things that makes Kuma a very difficult character to win with. Because basically anytime he really goes for anything, it's either slower than most character stuff, or it doesn't have, it's more negative than most characters' options. So for even his down forward 1 series, it's 15 frames. In fact, after this down forward 4, which is 12 frames, all of his quickest mid moves are 15 frames. So that's something that we're going to have to keep in mind when we're thinking about like how we're going to build offense around this character. Now, one thing we can use to our advantage is the fact that his legs are so far back that when he does stuff like this, backing up almost makes it impossible for characters to hit him with lows unless they have very far-reaching lows. So a lot of the times you don't have to do a whole bunch of ducking with a character like Kuma unless you're trying to punish highs. All right, so that is one of the good things about him. But down forward 4 is going to probably be one of our better, quicker mids. It doesn't have the best range, so that's going to be an issue for us. Another good mid that we can use is back 2, which has a string to it, back 2-1, but the 1 is high. And also, it transitions into his bear stance, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So these are all good tools that he has, or some of his better tools. You know, down forward 1 being a pretty good reaching mid, but it is 15 frames. That's something we're going to find that we're going to have to run into a lot when dealing with Kuma. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of his low moves. All right, now from standing, he's got down back 3, which is +3 on hit, which is pretty good, pretty good. Also, it is only -8 on block, so this is safe on block, which is, like I said, that's something that is not something you find common for him to have a low move that is safe on block. It does not duck high, so you do run the risk of getting hit up high. As far as high crushing moves, he's got down 4, which is +2. He's got down back 1, down back 2, which is +1 on block. On hit. It's -13 on block, and it's 18 frames. So we're going to have to definitely use this as a crush move only, or for like a long range poke, because it's a low poke and it can reach with pretty good distance here. That is going to give your opponent a little bit of pause to be looking out for this from a far distance, right? And if they're using highs to try to keep you out, you know, you got down back 2 to kind of really work on them and hit their legs. Another good low that he has is, well, not necessarily a good low, but it is a low that he has, is this Hell Sweep, right? Now, the Hell Sweep, very slow. It has some high crush properties, but they are very, very hard to use. For the most part, what you want to kind of look at this is just a tool that you might can catch an opponent off guard on wake up, where they have to wake up like that and immediately make a guess. Other than that, it's not going to be one of our better tools to be using. There is another use for it, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But let's move on to the next section, which is going to be the big mix-ups. Now, when we're talking about Kuma's big mix-ups and how to best get into the big mix-ups, Kuma's best mix-ups come out of this stance here, right? This is called the hunting stance. I call it bear stance just because it's easier for me to remember. But out of this stance, you have the 1, which is a low. It's 12 to 16 frames. Normally going to come out at 12 frames. 0 on hit. Has a follow-up with the 2, which is also 0 on hit. So you don't really gain advantage. But the thing that you have is the opportunity to do an armor move. So if they try to respond, you have this into the armor, or you have the ability to back up. So if they do something that is shallow, you can kind of back up and whiff punish. Also has a 2, which is +21 on hit. But the 2 out of the stance is -15, whereas this 1 is only -11, and this is -13 on block. So those are things you need to keep in the back of your mind as low threats. He has another low threat out of the hunting stance, which is back both punches, and that's going to be a knockdown on normal hit, -15 if I'm not mistaken. I believe it is -15 or -25. I'm sorry, I think it's -25 on block. But it has a second one, so you can do a second one, but also launch punishable. So you're really rolling the dice with this character. And as I told you before, you're doing a lot of high risk to get high rewards. Out of the stance for the mid threats, you have both punches, which is a launch punishable launcher. On normal hit, that will launch the opponent. They will go behind you. You got to do a kind of special combo to really take full advantage of that. The character also has a forward both punches, which is a high grab, right? This is an unbreakable grab. It's called the bear grab, or that's what we're going to call it. It's kind of hard to hit people with it, but because it's so slow, but if you can kind of really get your opponents mixed in and mixed up, you can use that in there. There's various ways that you can go into the bear stance. We're going to talk about the most useful ways to go into the bear stance so we can get to these mix-ups. And the last thing that I want to show you is that out of this stance, got down forward 1-1, which is a mid-high guaranteed, +7 on hit. And then he's got down forward 2 out of the hunting stance, which is a launcher, but the launcher is launch punishable at -17, I believe. Let me make sure that that is correct. Yes, -17. All right, so like I said, a lot of risk involved with this character. Does have a lot of different things you can use, like he has the back bear stance, right? We're gonna call it the sit stance. And in the sit stance, he has also a mix-up between the 1, which is launch punishable on block. Also has the stance into the mid, which is also launch punishable. Both are -15 on block. 1 knocks down and 1 launches, no counter hit required. So, like I said, you see there's a lot of reward that is dealt with this character. A lot of the times you also have 3 and you have 4, which rolls to left and right respectively. You can use this for situations where you're not at enough frames to advance with offense, but you can avoid maybe a quick poke or a quick mid that is trying to hit you out of the way, or maybe a quick low. Also, this character has down bow punches, which is 0 on hit, -6 on block, and that's at 16 frames. So this is about your safest mid option out of the stance. Like I said, on hit, it's only 0. So it kind of puts you back in that situation where you kind of make a guess. You know, do I want to armor because I think they're going to go for a bigger move? Do I want to roll to the side because I think they're going to go for something quick and I maybe can whiff punish them with this? Do I want to lean back and try to mix them up when they whiff here? Do I want to walk backwards and then hit them with that, or whiff punish them with one of the wild standing moves? Well, I'm sorry, with one of the down forward moves out of the bear stance. So a lot of this gameplay with the bear is really just a lot of trickery. The bear doesn't really have a lot of situations where they're going to be able to just do stuff and you're going to have to take it. But let's look at some of the ways you can effectively get into this stance. So one of them comes from up forward both punches, hold both kicks. Now this is going to put you in a situation where you're negative, but because you're -4, you still have the ability to jump up into the stance, lean back if they do a short ranged attack, and then you can do the mix up from the bear sit stance. If they are trying to do something that might be fast and knock you out of that, you have the option to roll to the side, possibly punish them. You also have the option of doing your armor. And then once you finally have the person afraid of this situation, you know, you also can start mixing them up. And because it is a cancel, if you just do the both punches, you can just stand afterward and be safe at -4, but standing. And when you're at -4 standing, this now makes it where an opponent might want to try to do jabs. They're trying to go for like mids. They can still beat you out, but then you have your armor move like this that can kind of interrupt any retaliation they're going for mids. So it's really a lot of trickery and a lot of risk associated with playing with Kuma. All right, so another mix-up that Kuma has that is going to be pretty good and pretty strong for him is the full crouch roll, right? If you put him in full crouch, you hold down forward both punches, he will do this roll. Out of this roll, he's got 1, which is a high frame advantage attack. He's got 2, which is a launcher, but is launch punishable. He's got 3, which is a low that knocks down, but is also like -18 on block. He does have 4, which is another plus frame move, but leaves you on the ground. And then he's got both punches, which is -15, but it is a mid. So these are things that you can kind of use in that stance. You can also go into bear stance or hunting stance if you hold down forward and press both kicks, which then gives us another way into the mix-up that we just talked about. All right. Another way that you can get into this mix-up is up forward both punches, which is a jumping move into a low. But if you hold both kicks, it'll cancel and it'll go into the hunting stance. So if an opponent is waiting on the low, you can use this as a way to kind of trick your opponent. Now, because it is a cancel, and we talked about cancels, the difference between cancels and real stance transitions and all of these different things, because it's a cancel into a stance transition, the opponent can always interrupt that if they just know that you're not going to finish it. So that is going to be something that you're going to have to possibly worry about. If they might not get a big punish, they might get a wild stand of 4 every time, just to check you. So that's something you're going to have to be creative. You can't just abuse it like that. And now we're going to talk about plus frame situations, because this next move is a move that is both plus frames and a stance transition. And that is up back both punches, which is +8. This is one of the few times where you're going to be able to go into the bear stance and have the plus frames, the advantage to actually pursue a mix-up, and your opponent is going to have to eat it. Right? Another thing that we have for plus frames is while running both punches, which is +2. If you hold the kicks, right, you can go into bear stance with plus frames. All right, so those are some of the things that he has for plus frames that are really going to work in his favor. He also has the while running 3. If you don't want to go into bear stance and you want to mix up from standing, or maybe perhaps want to jump over a low, cover a little bit more distance. Also, if we go from the roll, we talked about it already, but if you go into the roll and you do the 1, you're +15, which means you're pretty much able to interrupt anything that they're going to try to do, right? Anything they're going to try to do, you're going to be able to not be interrupted. You can just beat everything that they do out. So while we're on this path, let's talk about some of the counter hits that this character has. Now, this character really doesn't have a lot by ways of counter hit, but one of the best things about this character is they have a counter hit jab launcher, right? So if this character gets hit by the first hit, that now becomes a launcher, and then you can go into a carry, a juggle, possibly take them to the wall, do a lot of damage. Now, unfortunately, if they block, it is launch punishable. Even the second hit is launch punishable. So you have to be very committed when you're doing the 1-1-1. Basically, if you're going to do 1-1, you might as well do 1-1-1. But there still is a little bit of a mind game there, because if they're not ready to punish the second hit, they have to punish it immediately if they want a launcher, and that's how you can get them to get hit by the third portion. But you know, you're still playing with fire. But that's basically one of his best counter hit situations, is using 1-1. He has another counter hit move, which is his standing 4, but you know, it's very difficult. It's got a lot of short, it doesn't have a lot of range, it's short range. It does lead to a fairly decent combo. You know, so you can combo off of it, but it's going to be a very difficult thing to set up, because he doesn't really have many options that leave him where he has enough frame advantage to do such a thing. You know, but maybe the only way you can really use this is if you're doing the running 3, which is +10, and then you think they're going to retaliate, you can possibly hit them with standing 4. Maybe if you're close enough, maybe by a wall, you can do that, but then you lose the combo situation. So, you know, Kuma not necessarily built to be the best character, but does have some things you can use to your advantage to play the game Tekken. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the approach. And we kind of discussed the approach when we just looked at the different moves that he has for frame advantage, because most of these moves will be your approach moves. You know, doing up back both punches is going to cover a lot of ground. It's good for approaching. Doing your while running both punches is going to be good for approaching. Gives you frame advantage. Obviously, while running 3, good for frame advantage and approaching. Another thing is forward 2. If you think that they're going to be trying to swing, you have the ability to kind of go up underneath the highs and punish them with a launcher. So that's going to be something that's going to be pretty useful. But those are going to be your main basic approach tools. You can possibly use this, but it's not necessarily the best approaching tool. Because the bear doesn't have a lot of mobility, as far as like from a neutral standing position, has a very poor backdash. The good thing is his legs are so far back that you typically don't really have to worry about your legs getting clipped up too much unless somebody wants to run all the way in your face. But when you're trying to get in, basically you are going to have to take the risk of doing linear attacks. He doesn't have a whole lot of stuff that's going to stop somebody from stepping. He does have this, which covers a pretty good distance, and that's down forward both punches. So you can kind of mix that in as a good tool for approaching if you think that they're going to be trying to get away from your running moves or your frame advantage attacks. Now, when we talk about throws, obviously he has a standard 1, standard 2 throw, but he also has forward 1+4, which is a both punches throw, right? That's going to be the bare headbutt. And he has half circle back forward 1+2, which is, we call it, I think it's called the circus ring or something like that. I forgot what it's called, bear circus ring. But that is also a both punches throw. So he does have access to command throws, which is pretty good, right? Now, what we're going to look at next is going to be his Oki. And this, surprisingly, is where the bear is pretty good. You know, has down back 2 that hits on the ground, down back 3 hits on the ground. You got forward 2, which hits on the ground and flips over. You also have your frame advantage up forward, up back both punches that hits on the ground. Your mix up move, up both kicks, up both punches hits on the ground. You can press both kicks, go into the stance, and flip them from the stance, so they can wake up into a mix up that could put them right back on the ground. If they stay on the ground, you can do the same thing, and you know your mix up is still going to hit them on the floor. So that's kind of a good place for Kuma, is when your opponents are on the ground. He can kind of shine a little bit. Also, we talked about this earlier, down back 4. This actually will hit on the ground and is useful for, you know, the purpose of Oki, or if somebody is about to stand up. Like I said earlier, if they have to stand up, then they immediately have to guess. And then you can possibly use this time with their get up, and that could be a way to, you know, possibly get you a combo off of an opponent trying to get up and guessing incorrectly. Right? They won't have an opportunity to see the animation and then guess correctly. But that's pretty much all he has as far as his Oki goes, or the stuff that we're going to really be focusing on. Now we're going to kind of look at what about the whiff punishment. Well, one thing that this character is very good at doing is whiff punishing with a launcher, right? Because of the range on this down forward 2, if we take a look at this, you can see how far the down forward 2 reaches, right? And it's 15 frames. You know, so basically anytime somebody throws something out and they miss, you're basically right in range to kind of clap them with the down forward 2-1, which is going to be your twin pistons, the bear twin pistons. From your approach, you have forward 2. So for like whiffs that are from far range, you had that work with. You got both punches, which is pretty good at 17 frames. You got fairly decent range, leads to a combo. Also, back 1 is a pretty good whiff punisher. It's not the fastest move, but it does have a fairly decent range on it. You've got down back 1-2 for standing and quick whiff punishers. You know, that leaves you at +5. So that's always pretty good to have in your corner. And of course, you've got forward back 2, or back forward 2, which is a 16 frame high move, but automatic launches, a lot of range, you know, probably one of his highest ranged moves. You know, you can get back here and do that move, and it's still going to pretty much clap him. So, you know, that's probably one of his best whiff punishers. Is something you're going to have to be prepared for, get accustomed to using. But it definitely is a move that you want to put in your arsenal if you're looking for whiff punishment tools. All right. Now, what about regular punishment? Well, when we look at regular punishment, he does have this string, 2-1, right? 2-1, which is, I think it's +3 or +2 on block. I mean, on hit. It's -3 on block. But there is a third part, which is the 3, or you got the 2, depending on what the person is waiting on and what kind of retaliation you're going to do. This is not really a mix-up because of the frame differential, but you can possibly use it if you get a person used to getting clapped by this, and then after you hit them with this for punishment, if you notice that they're anxious and they're trying to always swing back immediately, bam, you got that, or you got that right there to keep them in place and keep them checked up. At 12 frames, it's got down, back, 1, 2, which is +5, puts the opponent in crouch. So they really don't have great retaliatory options. This right here is going to be anything that they do from crouch, being that it's 12 frames. Being that you're +5, this will beat anything that they do from crouch except for a low jab. The low jab will trade with your down 4-1. But that'll be all that they can do unless they have an armored attack from crouch. And so because of this, they are likely to have to stand up. This is where you can kind of go in with stuff like this. And it'll almost be free because they won't want to swing, because swinging is going to lead to them getting hit by this or this. And on counter hit, you do have this on counter hit, which also leads to a combo. So we didn't talk about that in the counter hit game, but that's another situation where you can use this to your advantage, get a combo, and really make it useful for the bear to be able to play a little bit of offense. Every once in a while the bear will get some frame advantage, and you got to really try to take advantage of it as best as you can. When you get to about 13 frames, you really don't have much but forward 2-1. It is a natural combo. It wall splats. It knocks down on normal hit, guaranteed on normal hit, but it is high. So you have to be leery of that. Be cognizant of the fact that they do something that's crouching, this is not going to be useful to you. And you also have at 15 frames, obviously down forward 2-1, which we talked about earlier. A launch punishable on block, but it won't matter because you're going to be punishing somebody. And that pretty much sums up all we need. The last thing we need to do is find us a combo. We're going to keep it simple. It's going to be simple, but look like it's not going to be simple. Okay, there we go. There we go. We got us a simple combo there, right? So that's pretty much going to be what we're going to be using today. And now we're about to take Kuma onto the online scene and see what we can do with this information that we have, and see just how well we did at quick learning Kuma. See what we can do with our first match playing with Kuma. What have we learned, and you think we can get through here? If we play somebody 2 times, can we win the first 2 matches? We'll get lost in the tournament. Let's find out. All right, we're playing against Asuka player. This should be very interesting. Be very interesting. Kuma definitely one of my favorite characters. So even though I don't have a lot of play experience with him, it's still one of my favorite characters to play with. I've always liked Kuma. I said so in the I said as much on stream and in previous video with the Kuma trailer for Tekken 8. Y'all can check that out, which inspired this. So let's see what we can do here in our first match. Slinging that salmon, all right? We learn about Kuma is he don't got, his legs go back pretty far, so you rarely have to worry about lows too much. I messed up combo. Just in case. Nope. Now we can just keep this person out. There we go, our +1. We used our +1, forward 1. All right, kind of just keeping it kind of simple with Kuma. Nice. Nice. They caught us slipping. Now let's see what's gonna happen here. We didn't get us a good combo, did we? We didn't get us a good combo. ah, 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 ah. Oh, nice. Okay, this person here, they realizing like I can't really use the low shit because if he back up, I'm just gonna miss him. We just need 50 damage. That's all we need. Good whiff punisher. Down back. Using that frame advantage. Like I said, this is a character that requires a lot of going all in, right? Down back 2. Okay, they wasn't ready for it. They wasn't ready for it. Now, what we're gonna try to do is use a little bit more of the bear stance, because right now we're just playing some real basic gaming with Kuma, and kind of keeping it kind of simple. You know, we're not familiar. We didn't really practice against this matchup, but we have our character's knowledge, right? So we know what we can do with our character and the basic fundamentals of how the game works. And then we're just going to kind of figure out what we know about this character from other characters and see if we can apply some of this stuff using Big Coom Dog. All right. Person not punishing correctly. Okay, it appears this person is attempting to see where we are with our knowledge. Nope, only minus 14, big dog. Here we go. Now watch this, watch this. Big low, big low. All right, toe them legs up from behind. Hit it from behind. Backing up, because you can't go low on us, really. All right, so we just found that down forward 2 will hit Phoenix. So if we suspect this person's going to go into Phoenix mode, we have the opportunity. Oh, caught him tripping. Cool, we by the wall. We'll take it. Oh, bear back blow. Okay, we forgot to talk about that. On the back, when you're on your back, you got a mid. And when you're on your stomach, you have a low move. So that's something you can apply to your game that allows Kuma to punish things that other characters can't really punish in them situations. All right, let's see if we can get some of this mid game popping. We breaking that. What you got for me, big dog? Oh, good stuff, good stuff. Oh, good. We breaking them throws. Beam. Okay. Beam. All right, let's see if we can use our good stuff. See if we can use our good stuff around here. Ooh, slapped the taste out of her mouth. She thought she had us, y'all. She thought she had us. Hey, what's going on, big dog? Yeah, I got you. I got you, big dog. I know what's up. It's all good. It's all good. We can rock with it. We can rock with it. Oh, is this person dipping on us? Oh, they coming back. Oh, they coming back. All right, we're going to give them one more run. All right, let's check it out.
Round 1. Fight.
Nice. There we go. Got us a real combo. Frame advantage. All right. Down back 2. There we go. We're using the mix-ups. We're using the mix-ups, jumping into the air. Got them waiting on stuff. Look at that counter hit. That was good. Cool. Good night, Mike. Why would you do something like that? High risk, high reward. It's your boy, big old Coom Dog in the building. All right, so let's see if we can get something popping. Oh, this person want to duck. We breaking them things. Okay, so we got this person all the way ducking. Hit him with the mid. Watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. We got him scared of the low. No, we blocking. We blocking. Look at the dance. Do the little dance on him. Do the little dance on him. All right, well, listen. That pretty much ends what we got going on here. We managed to get our wins. You know what I'm saying? We managed to apply what we learned. Obviously, if we play a little bit longer, we're going to become more familiar. Things will become less rough around the edges. But if you did like what you saw here and you're interested in learning maybe some other characters, look at that. They even told us we were sharp. All right. Listen, if you would like to learn how to play with other characters that are going to be coming up in Tekken 8 that maybe you haven't seen us do on the series already, have no problem dropping a comment in the comment section about the character you want to see coming up, and possibly maybe a character that nobody said yet, and we'll get right on top of it. Tekken 8 is coming up soon. These quick learning a character guides are just something to get you tied over until Tekken 8 actually releases, which is going to be here later this month. And without any further ado, that brings this video to a close. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. Guess I'm overjoyous with celebratory ass whoopings I just gave out. But in any event, really appreciate you all coming out. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you can be here for another quick learn a character guide coming up, and in many other videos that we might have coming down the pipe. And with no further ado, you know what it is. It's your boy M.I.C in the realm of the real, where only the real can chill. Peace.